Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Terri, your host. We're going to be talking today about essential oils for mental health. You know, I love using essential oils for lots of different health outcomes, and using it for our mood, for mental hygiene is probably one of the simplest and easiest. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So, just a little bit about me. I'm a mom. I have two adult boys. You can't even call them boys anymore. They're men. And I share wellness with others, teaching them about doTERRA essential oils and how they can use essential oils for whatever it is that they have going on. I love watching sunsets. I love to dance. I cook with essential oils all the time. I love to fish. And over the course of this short time with me, you'll notice I'm a little bit of a science geek, right? As we talk about essential oils, I'm gonna kind of teach you kind of what are the three cool things that I love about essential oils. And again, I love interactive classes, so please feel free to unmute yourself or to put your name in the chat and ask a question. Okay, so I used to work for Suffolk County for 17 years, and about 5 years ago, I retired, and I became a certified health coach because I had some profound experiences taking care of my handicapped son. And, we were always looking for some kind of solution to help get through, our experiences. We were barely surviving, and I really had a goal. I wanted him to thrive. And as you can imagine, the care of an individual with significant disabilities, that weighs on the person who is caring for them. And so really everything that I do now is because I want to share my information and knowledge so that that I can give you hope that whatever situation you're going through, that there is a way that we can use natural solutions to help raise us, even if it's just a happier mood as you deal with whatever you need to deal with. And so I would love for you to just share with me where you are on your journey, right? And so there's just a quick poll, right, as to whether or not you're familiar with essential oils or you already have essential oils in your home. If you can just, vote, right? I'll just give everybody a minute to find the voting tools. Right. I know that when I first started, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I thought essential oils were something I bought from some little kiosk down in Port Jefferson. And I discovered that there's a whole lot of science behind the use of essential oils, that it's chemistry. And so I love to share what I've discovered over the last 10 years. Okay, so we have an audience that has a wide variety. Some people are not familiar, some people have had some samples, and others already have them in their home. So thank you for answering. So we're going to talk about, what is an essential oil and why would we want to use them, right? So the first thing I will tell you is, ooh, what happened there? Here we go. So essential oils are distilled from a plant, right? And they are chemistry, right? They're information and knowledge that they bring into the body, right? That chemistry influences the behavior of the cell. It's just as simple as that. When we take a single plant and distill it, we're removing the raw material away from the essential oil, right? And so if you see here on the screen, right, this is the magnification of a peppermint leaf. And the essential oil is this little sac that is on the leaf. And as we rub the leaf, right? That's when we can smell the peppermint on the leaf, right? If you have a garden, you know that mint plants are very aromatic. And so what we're doing is we're creating a liquid form, right? We're liberating that essential oil off of the plant, and we're doing it in such a way that we're maintaining the volatile aromatic chemistry that comes along with that essential oil. When we do it correctly, you have a very highly concentrated form of the plant. Like one single drop is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. Like imagine how concentrated that is. So all of the good things that peppermint offers us is now amplified, right? I love that they're more effective than modern approaches, right? So essential oils are, because they're natural, right? Our body receives them as if they're family, as opposed to a stranger, right? Because of that, that it's organic and that it's made of the same substance as your body, it has this ability to actually move through the cell membranes and, you know, interact on the cellular membrane as well as inside the cell, right? When we're looking at, so I want you to take a quick look at this, right? So let's say this is a bacteria, right? Bacteria has its own membrane and lives on the outside of cells. A virus, you see this little purple blob, it lives inside the cell, right? And so when we, you know, get sick, we take an antibiotic, which helps kill a bacteria, right? It's usually very effective. When you're trying to kill a virus, you can't. Why? Because it's protected by the cell membrane, which the antibiotic cannot permeate. But essential oils can actually do both. They can kind of, you know, take care of the bacteria on the outside of the cell, and because they can move through the cellular membrane, they can get on the inside of the cell, and they can influence what's going on inside, including getting rid of viruses. So I love that it's so effective because of its ability to get everywhere, right? So I want you to think of an essential oil as something that has like an all-access security pass in your body, right? It's super tiny, so it gets through all these little cracks. It's made of the same neurotransmitters that your communications network inside your body is, so it speaks the same language. And so there's no disconnect, there's no side effects. And so I love that about it. Now, one of the things that I've discovered over the 10 years is that I love having essential oils at my fingertips because, you know, like synthetic medication just doesn't do the same thing as a natural solution. So what do I mean by that? So many of the time we're addressing symptoms, right? A synthetic medication is symptom management. It doesn't actually fix the root cause of why we're having that symptom. So I want you to think of it like a light on a dashboard, right? The light on the dashboard comes because it's trying to get our attention, much like a discomfort that we feel or an imbalance in our body that creates some kind of experience, trying to get your attention. And we could cover the light on the dashboard, but we know that if we don't actually go and add some oil in there, the engine's going to blow up over time, right? So if we don't lift up the hood and dive a little deeper and look at the root cause, we're never going to really solve the symptom. So when we're using essential oils, we're actually dealing with both. We can address the symptom, right? Let's say we're having some stomach discomfort, right? But we can also dive a little deeper into the root cause of what's going on, right? And, you know, we spend almost $6 trillion in the United States on healthcare. And are we any healthier for it? Actually, no. Like our rank of health among other, you know, developed nations is decreasing. For the last 3 or 4 years, it has dropped down, right? And so we're spending a lot of money, and it's not just the cost in financial terms, it's also the cost in like So we have time off from work, we have reduced quality of life, right? And the cost of using a synthetic that maybe creates side effects and has other issues associated with it, right? Like when someone in my family has an ear infection, we rub, lavender and melaleuca around their ears and tuck them into bed. 12 hours later, they wake up, there's no sign of, any discomfort, and it cost me about 64 cents. I didn't have to leave my house. I didn't have to go see a doctor. And, I became a healer in my own home, right? And so, essential oils are just such a godsend. And, with a little bit of knowledge and some therapeutic grade essential oils at your fingertips, you can become a healer in your own home, right? We could address 80% of the stuff that comes up. Modern medicine is good, right? I will never, ever disparage it. Like, I'm alive because of hospitals and doctors and nurses. My son is alive, right? My uterus ruptured when I was in labor. And, neither of us would be here if not for modern medicine. My son was in the ICU more than 25 times. He would not be alive today if not for modern medicine. But it wasn't a long-term solution. We were barely surviving. We weren't really thriving. And so over time, we started doing things to actually work within the creative healing that the body could do. And it just reduced how much intervention we needed every day, right? And so, there is a way for you to experience the same thing, right? It's super simple how we use essential oils, right? We can just breathe them in, put them in the diffuser, right? I love using essential oils aromatically because it moves up in through the nose and it goes directly into the brain, but a very particular part of your brain called the limbic system. And this system is responsible for memory, mood, and emotion. And so when we're talking about mood and mental hygiene, the fact that we can breathe in an essential oil and within 20 to 30 seconds start having that oil access security path, the chemistry of the essential oil starts influencing what's going on inside your brain, inside your body, it's pretty powerful. And we're going to learn a little bit more as we proceed. You could put it on topically. Sometimes it's a suggest to dilute it with a carrier oil. But, many of the oils can be applied topically without any concern, right? I also love the fact that I can use essential oils internally, that the caliber of the quality of the essential oils that I have chosen, that it's not just recommended by the FDA, for internal use, but many of the protocols, like that the best effectiveness from that essential oil is going to be from internal use. So, let's dive a little deeper now into, mental health, which, a lot of times, I don't know about you, but, my mental state is tied heavily to how well I sleep. I don't know if you guys, raise your hand or put something in the chat, for sure, how well I sleep actually, creates, whether I have energy the next day, whether I might be a little cranky or not, right? And so, using essential oils and supplements can help promote these feelings of relaxation and calm. It helps promote, peace of mind that allows me to fall asleep. It allows me to welcome, a different perspective emotionally, so that, how I perceive the world, right? That's really what our mental health is about, is how do I perceive the world? Is it something that's stressful and attacking me and fear, doubt, worry, all those things? Or is it something where, I'm going to flow through life with ease, and no matter what's going on, I'm going to get through it, right? There's a belief system underneath all of that. And so I'm going to invite you right now to just write down your health concerns, right? You're here for a reason, right? There was something that attracted you to this particular topic, right? And so what I'd like you to do is just rate your health on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. And focus particularly about your mental health, your mood, right? How many days do you, naturally feel, good, right? That you're energetic, that you feel that you can conquer the day, and that no matter what happens, you're able to maintain that positive mood, right? Do you have tools at your fingertips when you've got something going on? I'll give people a little bit of a chance to answer the poll. Yeah, there's some significant, challenges, right? Sometimes don't you feel so overwhelmed, right? Just see if there's anyone else who wants to vote. Right now, we have kind of like right in the middle. It's nobody rated themselves a 5, right? And it's like 3s and 4s are the dominant, right? And so, this is where I find having essential oils at my fingertips is so beautiful. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, if you have a particular trigger or situation, you can write it down, or you can put it in the chat. You can address it to me personally so that I just can speak to what's going on in your life, or you can put it to everyone and we can have a conversation about it. I love to talk about solutions based on a need for a particular person. And so one of the first things that it requires a little bit of setup. So here's where I'm going to be a little bit of a science geek for you. Okay, so when we get stressed out, right, our mood is chemistry, right? Emotion is chemistry. Everything you feel, everything you think is all brought about by neurotransmitters. And there's some stress hormones that kind of, get us ready to go. And one of them is called cortisol. We also have norepinephrine, we have adrenaline. Like, these are things that come out when we're stressed, and they start to hijack our limbic brain, right? Everything stops and we start focusing on the issue, the problem, right? And so all these other, important health functions in our body, like digestion, immune function, removing toxins from our body, those kind of slow down when we are in that hijack situation. So when you're stressed out, particularly with all the stuff that's going on, and maybe holding down a job with so much uncertainty, so much disruption from your normal routine, there's a lot of that kind of chemistry coming out in us, and that's definitely going to affect our mood, right? All that chemistry, right, shifts whether we feel safe or not. And so when we have, like, lavender is very high in a chemical constituent called linalool, which helps modulate the stress hormones in your body. That's why it's so calming, right? Everyone knows that lavender is really good to help us calm down and help us sleep. Well, it's because of the high content of linalool, right? And so, one of my favorite ways to just simply shift my emotion is to put a little lavender on to calm me down. Right? When I'm calm, right, take a deep breath, and then I can see things differently. Right? Okay, yes. Like, did you ever notice that? Like, when you get stressed out, like, you kind of, it takes your breath away when something happens. And the first natural instinct is, okay, let me just think, let me think. And like, once we've taken that big clearing breath, all of a sudden, we start to think more clearly. And so I love using lemon essential oil, which is a natural mood uplifter. It has a chemical constituent called limonene, which actually helps your body produce dopamine, right? And dopamine is your happy drug. And so I would posit to you that when you have more dopamine, right, you're going to have a different response to any situation that's going on around you. And adaptive, another one of my favorite ones for calming and relaxation. We're going to talk about that a little bit further on. So one of the second things is, when we are in a situation where we don't feel at peace, right, it's going to suppress our immune function, right? And so we need to boost our immune function, right? We need to get better at protecting ourselves, right? Our mental state is kind of attached to how well we're doing that. And so spice oils like oregano, cinnamon, clove are able to help us with our immune function, right? Because they're very unfriendly to pathogens and environmental threats that might be living in our body. They're also really good for the digestive tract. And our digestive tract is where we produce over 90% of our brain chemistry, right? The dopamine, the serotonin, like all these things that help regulate how we see the world are all produced in the digestive tract. Have you ever noticed that someone who doesn't eat so well is kind of a little bit of a hot mess? Sometimes we see it in our teenagers who start to, go to school and they start to have their own diet, and all of a sudden they're a hot mess. So balancing our digestive tract with some essential oils is really a way of helping boost our mood and our mental state, right? When we feel protected, we feel safe, and our behavior and our brain chemistry changes, right? Third, that sleep component, right? Getting a really good night's sleep contributes to how we feel when we first wake up in the morning and what goes on for the rest of your day, right? And so, I have a couple of favorite blends, but, there's so many different ways. Wood oils help ground our nervous system. Flower oils really help calm our emotions. And so I usually suggest to someone, well, find the aroma that does that for you, right? Because there's over 100 different essential oils. And I like to help people kind of play around, which one is the one that's right for you. Might be different. Like we all are drawn to different aromas naturally. And so I like people to find the one that really makes them feel safe, right? I want to help calm the nervous system. Like for me, when I climb into bed, my inability to sleep is not about that I'm not tired. I am exhausted. But what it's all about is the chatter that's going on in my mind. I cannot shut it off. And so when I use things like copaiba or frankincense, it actually turns off that chatter. And then I feel safe, and then I fall asleep. Right? Can you fall asleep if you don't feel safe? Right? Think about that. Like we need to feel safe. And if we're constantly evaluating a million things in our head, that our limbic brain, our nervous system is on, because it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my gosh, what is going on here? So it's one of my favorite things to do. We can actually promote healthy brain chemistry, right? Some of the flower oils like rose, jasmine, and neroli actually help support the right chemistry. And when we have the right chemistry, we have these feelings of love and happiness, right? Serotonin is key. And, one of the things is we have true power, right? We're talking about essential oils that are aromatic. And so when we breathe them in, that aromatic chemistry is processed by the olfactory bulb behind the nose, and it is brought into our limbic system. And so we have an amazing ability to be happier, right? And so one of my favorite combinations is peppermint and wild orange. Like specifically, 2 or 3 times a day, first thing in the morning, right? Peppermint opens airways, and it's going to help get oxygen, right? When our brain has oxygen, it functions better, right? And wild orange is kind of like peeling back the skin of an orange, and we're liberating the essential oil that is on the rind, and it sprays into the air, and you just feel naturally happy, right? It helps, it's an antioxidant, so it's going to help neutralize some of the oxidative stress, right? It's very invigorating. Both of them are going to help wake us up and improve function, right? Improve function of, your brain, your digestive tract, your chemistry production, all of those things, right? It's going to actually help improve mood. So, pick essential oils, put them in your diffuser, and breathe them in. And, you know, right now I just want to kind of deep dive into one of my new favorites. So Adaptive is a really unique formulation, right? It combines neurotransmitters with alkaloids, fatty acids, and essential oils, right? And so alkaloids have the ability to sustain serotonin, right? That's part of our brain chemistry. And it helps create a particular chemistry that's called GABA. So GABA is what reduces our stress hormones, right? So I want you to think about that. When we're stressed out, your body has to get ready to go, right? Your heartbeat accelerates and you crave carbs because you need that fast energy. Your eyesight becomes more focused, right? There's lots of things that happen in that moment that you have to respond to a crisis, right? You've heard stories about people who can actually lift a car up, you know, because, you know, that's the adrenaline in them. Well, all of that's chemistry that gets triggered automatically. And so we naturally have to be able to respond. But then what happens when the crisis is over? Well, your body produces another chemistry that actually brings it back to balance. And so you vacillate between response and rest, response and rest. And that's what we're supposed to do. Sometimes we get stuck in the response, right? We're stressed out all day long. And that is not good long term, right? And so these alkaloids help sustain the right balance of that chemistry, right? And we have so many testimonials that are coming in that whether you're using the Adaptive essential oil that's in a rollerball form, or whether you're taking the undiluted form and putting it in your diffuser, or you're combining it with the use of this capsule that is brain food, right? It's nourishing to the brain, right? When we use the capsules, it's about neurological biochemical health. And when we're using the essential oils, we're talking about that limbic system response. We're talking about behavior and thought and emotion. And so when you use them together, we're kind of covering the whole nervous system, right? Both the autonomic nervous system and the enteric nervous system that is inside your gut. I just love this system. And so, you know, I invite anyone who's on the call today, if you have a story with the use of an essential oil, or, you know, you want to talk about something that's going on in your life, right? We're gonna have a turn for you guys to do some storytelling, right? I have been getting a lot of questions about how to purchase, right? And so, you know, doTERRA sells their oils online. It's like a wholesale membership club like Costco. You create a membership, you buy your products, you get 25% discounts. You know, if you are loving the products and you're ordering them regularly, they have a frequent flyer program. You know, I'm here to help you set that up. If you want to get started and have essential oils at your fingertips so that you can be a healer in your own home too, well, that's what I do, is I just walk you through what would that look like to live and love a natural solutions lifestyle. But, you know, for people, I love offering samples, right? I give them away for free. I want you to have your own experience. I want you to build belief that this product is going to do what it says it's going to do way before you even create your first account. And so you can just connect with me, right? Just fill out this link, right? It's just a way for me to know that you're interested. Your name, your email, or your phone number, right? I am available. You could just text me or email me. You can connect with me on social media. Like whatever works for you, works for me. I give classes regularly, right? And so the next classes that I have coming up, we have, you know, a really fun class. It's called I Got My Oils, Now What? That's actually it's Thursday night, not Wednesday night. Sorry about that. But we also have every Monday at 6 and every Tuesday at 2, we will be doing classes. And so, you know, I'm happy to, like I have a whole, I guess, repertoire for the next 6 weeks of classes twice a week. right? So Monday night will be my favorite essential oils and their uses. And then Tuesday, a week from today, we'll be doing how to create, easy breathing, right? And then Saturday this weekend, we'll be doing immune support. And so I invite you to, get connected. There's lots and lots of information, and I'm here to support and help you. So I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for all that